Hey guys, this is Emilio with RMS Customs and Fab. Just wanted to go over with you on the 69 Camaro Commando. It's going to be at SEMA 2024. It's going to be at the Pyramid Optimized Design booth. So if you guys are out there, be sure to check us out. Check out the car, stop by, say hi. But right now we'll do is we'll go over some updates with you guys, and then that way you guys can see the progress on the car. One of the things I wanted to go with you on the car is the roll cage. As you can see, it's all covered up. The roll cage has already been painted. So we covered all that up. On top, you'll see some plastic holders, and you'll see some cutouts. The dash has all been 3D printed from our guys over there at Pyramid Optimized Design. And it's actually the dash. We already pre-fit the dash, test fit everything, modify whatever we know how to modify. And our guy, our upholstery guy, Brian, So It Seems, is actually taking care of the dash right now as we speak. And then as far as majority of the interior on this car has been scanned and 3D printed as well. So center console, door panels, package tray, rear box or rear seat delete box, all that's been designed and 3D printed. So right now we're just in the stages of actually finishing up the bodywork that we have to do. So it's in the last stages actually. Just doing all the small detail work, cleaning up all the lines, cleaning up all the gaps that we got to do. Just little imperfections here and there, but majority of the stuff we just got to do one final block on the car, and then lay down some sealer, and it should be good to go. It's just been a little bit time consuming on this car. The carbon fiber has moved a lot on this car. I don't know if they just didn't lay down a lot of material or carbon fiber material on the car, on the parts itself, but because the whole front end is carbon fiber, for whatever reasons moved, we blocked it, and then next thing you know, we go 2 days later, we go back at it, and then we can see that it's bulging out a little bit or it's actually sucked in, and that's just because I'm assuming either the heat or just or not enough material in it. So we did have to do a lot of significant strengthening on the material itself. So that way, once the car's out in the sun and stuff, the parts aren't moving around. So this car is going to see some road race action, and it's going to be getting a lot of heat in there. We also don't want it to be warping within time, So one of the things, as you can see right here on the lower dash, or I'm sorry, the lower balance panel. You can see those little scoops or little holes. Those are actually going to be the inlets for the air ducts for the intake system. So that's going to be all tied into the airbox system. And then the front chin spoiler is going to have also air ducts in it, and that's going to be tied into the brake system. So, which the front spoilers or the chin spoiler on this is also. It's being made by Pyramid Optimized Design as well. So one of the things on the engine bay, as you can see, it's just a block itself. The whole car has already been pre-built, really. So right now it's just in the body, but once we do the final assembly on it, everything's already been pre-built, from radiator hoses to the steering linkage, to the heater hoses, to the AC lines, to the brake lines, to the fuel lines. Everything's been done on the power steering lines. Everything's already been done. So right now, again, we're just doing all the small final detail touches on the body itself. We will be removing the front clip on the car, and then we'll be jumping on the firewall to get all that body work done on the firewall, just to finalize on that. And then basically send out the subframe, go get powder coated. Everything else has already been sent out to go get powder coated. So that's already, as far as suspension, front suspension, rear suspension, all those, what else? Steering linkage parts. I mean, all that stuff is already been sent out. So it's actually getting powder coated as we speak as well. The only thing that they're waiting on is just the front chassis, the front clip. So once we remove the front clip, we'll drop that off with our powder coat guys, and then they'll jump on it right away. They told us that don't worry about it, we'll take care of it. So pretty stoked. And then at that point, once we get everything, we'll just start pre-building the car right away. So it shouldn't take us long to start assembling everything. But again, you know, everything always fits the first time, and then once you're getting ready to do the final assembly, you know how that goes. Sometimes you end up fighting, you know, you know, things don't go the way they're supposed to, or parts aren't fitting the way they're supposed to, even though it's already pre-built. One of the things I wanted to go over with you is on these headlight doors. Actually, if you see them, the covers, this has all been scanned, 3D printed, and redesigned it. Normally these are 3 pieces, but this is actually a 1 piece now. It's gonna have yellow inlays on it, so you'll just be pretty cool. Especially the car is going to have that BMW green in there, so it's going to look really nice with it. It's definitely going to pop, and the whole center section is going to be, the grill section is going to be all black and stuff. So that's definitely cool little feature right there. Definitely dig that. Can't wait to show you guys that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that we've been scanned and 3D printed, just trying to get a little bit more design out of that stuff. And you know, instead of, you know, doing some metal work and, you know, shaping stuff, and which is cool, it's time consuming, and trying to justify the time, and especially when you're building customers, it's just, you know, especially when you build a high-end caliber car, it gets crazy on expense, and you just trying to see what you can do to make it look better, make it function better, and then at the end of the day, just, you know, keep costs down. And that's one of the things that, you know, that we try to improvise this time with this car. But yeah, it's so far everything's been coming out great. Can't wait to show you guys the final product at SEMA. So one of the things on the back on the car, everything, the whole rear car section, it's all been handcrafted. This is done by metal, so it's all been handmade itself, you know, with the center section exhaust. Rear diffusers, carbon diffusers that's being made also. So yeah, the rear deck lid, it is carbon fiber. The rear window deck panel, it is also carbon fiber. So we integrated that with the metal. And on the trunk section, as you can see, it has an opening, and that the opening is to be able to service the fuel pumps. So if a fuel pump ever does go out, while he's at the track or anything like that, he can just remove one, pop one in, and then go back on the road and do what he has to do. So, but yeah, it's been a lot of work, a lot of time in the back. As you can see, it's, you know, very detailed right there. So it has its fuel opening, it has exhaust exit in the back. At the same time, this is also set up for air jacks. The license plate will be right here, so you lift it up, and then it's going to have the opening for the air jacks inlet nipple. So yeah, pretty stoked. So this is the rear bumper for the 69 Commando Camaro. Again, we're in the final stages. We're going to do the final block on it, lay down sealer, and should be ready to paint. It's all hand fabricated as well. So the only thing metal on this car, I would probably say it's the quarter panels, the roof, and the rear bumper taillight section. Everything else is carbon fiber on the car, besides the floor section as well. So the car is going to have a mixture of steel and carbon fiber, but we wanted to also add a lot of the weight in the middle of the car, so the weight balance is actually going to be really good. So, but yeah, as far as everything else is coming out pretty good. Can't wait to start assembling this car and put everything together and start, you know, showing people the vision that we have with this car. So it's going to be something awesome. So this is the LS7 427 engine that's going in the 69 Commando Camaro. It's actually being built right now. We've been checking all the clearances, checking it as far as all the measurements, rods, main bearings, thrust end play. Now it's everything checked out awesome. Our guys over there at Pro Street Engines with Nick, I mean, he's just some phenomenal machine work. Can't say much about that guy. I mean, his work is just, it's incredible. Just be able to get an engine and slap it together, I mean, that speaks for itself. Everybody thinks it's the engine builder, but at the end of the day, it's the machinist. The machinist is what's able to give you a good solid foundation. So, but yeah, if you guys ever need machine work or you're in the San Antonio area, be sure to check out Nick at Pro Street Racing Engines. But what we ended up doing with this engine, we ended up changing out the pistons. It still keeps the titanium rods, the factory titanium rods, but we ordered some custom pistons to keep the factory titanium rod, and we upped the compression on it. So the compression on this engine should be about 13.8 to 1 compression on it, after we did all of our math and everything with deck height and head gasket clearance and everything. One of the things that we ended up doing as well with this engine, we ended up changing out the crankshaft. We didn't stay with the dry sump crankshaft from LS7. What we wanted to do, because we're running a daily dry sump system on this car instead of the factory dry sump system, so we actually ended up going with Cali's Comstar center crank weight. It just, at the end of the day, what we wanted to do is we wanted to have something at high RPM and not worry about just, you know, harmonics or just vibration or anything that can go bad on it. And then with Cali's on their crank, it's just awesome. So we just decided to go with that crank and not have that way. We're not worrying about anything. And again, it's a road race engine. We wanted to have everything light as possible. So I know going with an aftermarket crank, yeah, it can end up being heavier because it's stronger, you know, but we ended up doing with this crank, we actually milled it down on the counterweights. Couple reasons. For one is to keep the weight down, and then for two is to have a piston to crank clearance, because this crank is actually made for a 6/125 rod and up, and that's what it's cleared for. And then the stock LS7 rods are shorter than that, so the piston and the counterweights we're gonna touch. So we just milled the counterweights down, make sure we have enough clearance on that, which brought down the weight on the crank, balanced everything, make sure everything's solid. And then yeah, it's pretty stoked. Can't wait to put this engine. This thing's gonna be nasty. It is gonna be set up on E85 or race gas. But yeah, and it's all going to be controlled through Motec for the fuel, engine, ECU control management system, and the car as well is going to be controlled everything through Motec as well. So pretty stoked. All right, guys. Well, that's a wrap for the '69 Camaro update. If you guys have any questions, or you guys want to build, or you guys want to check out some cool stuff, give us a follow on Instagram, RMS Customs and Fab. On YouTube, we're also RMS Customs and Fab, and then as well as on Facebook, RMS Customs and Fab. We do all of our updates. Majority of our updates are usually on Facebook and on Instagram, but we try to do some videos and give you some more of a detailed update on there. But don't forget to subscribe, follow, and give us a shout if you guys have any questions or have a future build.